Over the Christmas holiday in 2023, two families in Bexar County, Texas, were experiencing a living nightmare. 18-year-old Savanah Soto, 9 months pregnant with a little boy, and her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, were missing.
It's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy.
No one wanted to believe that the worst had happened until they had no choice but to face the horrific truth. Over the following weeks and months, social media would explode with theories on the case.
So I don't know if you guys are following the case of the missing pregnant teenager out of San Antonio, Texas, Savanah Soto, but there has been some crazy updates in the case.
They made an arrest on somebody that was connected to something totally different.
I personally can't understand a single word they're saying, but a lot of people state that you can hear them talking about Matthew being deceased.
Suspects would continue to pile up, and yet another family would be drawn into the chaos.
As a mother, how can you be involved in this? Do you have anything to say to these families?
Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case is a messy one. There are no heroes in this story, and plenty of blame to go around. When all is said and done, though, it's nothing but an absolute tragedy. Let's take a look. On December 23rd, 2023, the family of 18-year-old Savanah Soto gathered at the Stone Oak Methodist Hospital in north central San Antonio. Savanah was pregnant and nearly 1 full week overdue. She had an appointment at 6:30 a.m. to induce labor. It's the day everyone had been waiting for. It would be the first child for Savanah and her boyfriend, 22-year-old Matthew Guerra, as well as the first grandchild for an excited extended family. They were expecting a boy. They called him Fabian. As the minutes and hours passed, nervous excitement gave way to confusion and worry. Savanah did not arrive for her appointment. Neither she nor Matthew could be reached. Missing persons reports were filed, and family members launched an awareness campaign across social media, spoke with local news stations, and distributed printed flyers on the streets.
Just pray to God every day, every night, every day, every minute, every second of the day. We pray to God to bring her home safely, because we need her home to complete my family again. She was so thrilled and excited about being a mom. She had everything ready for her little boy. This is her picture here. She's a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful heart. She'll help anybody. And I want somebody to help us to bring her back home.
This is 18-year-old Savanah Nicole Soto. Her mom tells KENS 5 she left home for the hospital where she was supposed to be induced, but Savanah never showed up. Police fear that she may be in imminent danger. The teen may be traveling in a 2013 gray Kia Optima with temporary tags. If you know where Savanah may be, call the Leon Valley Police at that number on the screen.
Mommy, please come home. No one's going to judge you. No one's going to say nothing to you. I just want you to be home.
Something's not adding up here. I want answers, and we all want answers.
On the evening of December 23rd, police visited the apartment that Savanah and Matthew shared in the 6000 block of Grissom Road in Leon Valley to perform a welfare check. They found no one at home. Their personal belongings appeared to be undisturbed. Several of Savanah's purses hung on the bedroom wall. Their closet was organized in full. A single scented candle left burning on the kitchen counter signaled the couple's intention to leave only for a short period. It was as though they had just popped out for a moment and would return home at any minute. 3 days later, on December 26th, after both families had endured the Christmas holiday in a state of panic and worry, a resident of the Northwest Side apartment complex contacted the Sotos through a family friend about a car that matched the description from the Clear Alert. A 2013 silver Kia Optima had been parked in the back corner of a parking lot of the Kalinas at Medical Apartments, roughly 3 miles away from the couple's home. As word spread of the discovery, family members arrived on scene alongside police. Joni Wassel, who used to date Savanah's brother, was the first to arrive to take a look at the vehicle. She was followed by family members. The car was locked. Visible through the window in the passenger seat was Savanah. She was clearly deceased. Matthew was found in the back seat. He too had met a brutal end. Both had been in the car for what appeared to be several days. San Antonio police, responding to the apartment complex, attempted to take control of a chaotic and emotionally charged scene. Word had spread rapidly. Family members rushed to the location, only to be held back from viewing the tragic scene, one that they would not be able to unsee.
He basically said they're adults, if they want to disappear, they can disappear. And again, I reminded him, the baby's overdue. It's been overdue. They missed their due date. And to me, that's a life-threatening, there should have been more urgency. I never knew a pain like this existed. You hear about a parent losing a child and you're like, man, I can't imagine what they're going through. It's exactly how it is. You can't imagine it.
When EMS arrived, they broke a window to gain access to the vehicle. Inside, Savanah still sat upright, a gunshot wound visible to the back of her head, near the base of her neck. A baby's car seat sat on her lap. There were no stains on the car seat, though there was evidence of her injuries beneath it, suggesting it had been placed on her after she was shot and killed. Matthew was lying in the back seat, his pants pulled down below his waist, perhaps a result of being dragged into position. He had suffered a single gunshot wound to the head as well, entering through the left side. There was a projectile lodged in the roof of the car behind the visor above the driver's seat. Blood on the driver's side door frame also suggested that Matthew had been seated in that position when he was shot. An unused bullet as well as a casing were located in the back seat, pointing to the position of the shooter. There was no weapon left in the vehicle. Outside of the car, detectives noticed blood inside the rim of a back tire, again on the driver's side. It was a match to Matthew Guerra. They speculated that after sustaining the gunshot to the side of his head, Matthew must have been pulled from the driver's seat and then rested against the wheel of the car briefly before being lifted into the back where he was found. There was a cell phone found by Savanah's feet, but few other valuables or personal belongings were located. Savanah's purse was missing. Matthew's wallet and keys were not found, though one gold chain was spotted in the back seat. Matthew's distinctive and notably expensive jewel-studded rings were also missing.
What we're looking at right now is a very, very perplexing crime scene.
The medical examiner determined that the single shot that killed Matthew had not only been made at close range, but in direct contact. A distinctive dark ring against his skin marked the place where the gun must have been held, with force, while the shooter pulled the trigger. In Savanah's case, she may not have even known that the shot was coming. There were no signs of a struggle. Tragically, it was determined that had medical assistance been sought immediately, she or her unborn son, Fabian, may possibly have been saved.
This is the little baby gender reveal for my baby girl. Now they're gonna cut it and see what it is.
The couple had been thrilled to learn of the pregnancy and were keen to begin the next phase in their life together.
It's a boy. It's a boy. It's a boy.
The Soto family was, unfortunately, no stranger to tragedy. In May 2023, less than a year before Savanah was found, her 15-year-old brother Ethan was also shot dead. Revenge for a drug robbery.
He was a piece of my heart. But now that he's gone, More than a piece is gone.
The killer, 17-year-old Victor Rivas, claimed that Ethan had stolen drugs from him the day before. He arranged for a young girl to meet with Ethan near his house, a tactic designed to lure him from his home, where he could be killed. Investigators later described the setup as an ambush. Ethan was rushed to the hospital, where he later died. A heartbroken Soto family then sought revenge of their own, attacking Victor Rivas in a Bexar County courtroom when he made an appearance for a preliminary hearing. Amongst those throwing punches in the courtroom was Matthew Guerra. It was not the first time that Matthew lashed out. In fact, he had a growing criminal record full of offenses, from reckless driving to assault. Indeed, at least one charge pertained to his treatment of Savanah, an assault from 1 year earlier. Despite their history, family members insisted the couple were extremely happy. With the baby coming, they had overcome their troubles and left their previous drama in the past.
He definitely didn't hang around the best crowd.
Matthew's father confirmed the assault charge involved Savanah and happened last Christmas. But since then, he says they've been a happy couple living together in Leon Valley.
They were inseparable. Was it the perfect relationship? No, but she definitely was not a prisoner there. Her and Matthew were both overjoyed and couldn't wait for Fabian's arrival.
Following the discovery of the young couple, investigators returned to their home on Grissom Road. They found it in a different state than officers had just days before. Just inside the door, the cushions for the sofa had been pulled up. The houseplant in the corner of the kitchen had been knocked over. On the counter, where officers had previously found a lit candle, there was now a canister of flour tipped over. There appeared to be no effort to tidy it. A vent to an air duct near the ceiling had been removed. More troublesome, in the bedroom, dresser drawers sat open. Savanah's collection of purses, which had hung neatly on the wall, were no longer placed there. The organized closet, containing most of their personal belongings, was now in disarray. There was no sign of forced entry into the home, and it could not be immediately determined what items, if any, were missing from the apartment. However, it was clear to investigators that someone had been in the home between the time that the welfare check had taken place on December 23rd, the day the couple was reported missing, and the time that investigators returned on December 28th, 2 days after they were found. Whoever had entered had been searching for something, either a specific item or perhaps anything of value. This person likely had a key to the unit, such as one taken from the crime scene. It was no secret that Matthew Guerra had money. He wore a collection of gold-studded jewelry, valued in the thousands. He and Savanah often boasted about their good fortune on social media. While Savanah held her baby bump, Matthew posed holding stacks of cash. His Instagram and Telegram accounts were even more provocative. Matthew promoted his line of work, selling illegal drugs, by posting montages of his products interspersed with images of his jewelry, alongside his guns. Investigators deduced that the couple had been robbed, stripped of their personal belongings in the car after the murder. Then, their home later entered and searched through after the fact. It seemed increasingly likely that Matthew's online boasting had made him and his young family a target for robbery and murder. Surveillance footage from the medical apartments on Danny K Drive captured Matthew's silver Kia entering the parking lot 1 minute before midnight on the night of December 21st. About 5 minutes later, a pickup truck drove in behind the Kia, slowing for a moment as though hesitating to turn around the side of the apartment complex. The cover of the truck bed is shown sitting askew as the vehicle pulls into the parking lot. A camera on the other side of the building captured the pickup approaching the Kia, which slowed to meet the truck with its lights turned off. After both vehicles slowed to a stop, the truck also turned off its lights. Emerging from the pickup was a heavyset man in a white tank top. He held a brief exchange with the driver of the Kia before grabbing a towel from the cab of the truck. He appeared to then wipe down some spots on the silver car. Following the exchange, the Kia drove forward in the lot towards the back corner where it would later be found with Matthew and Savanah inside. The pickup truck followed. The two vehicles remained in the far back of the lot for 3.5 minutes. There are no cameras in the area to capture exactly what occurred over that time frame. When the pickup truck reemerged, the cover to the truck bed had been readjusted and was shown sitting flush to the frame. The truck left the apartment complex. The silver Kia, of course, did not follow. Cameras at the apartment complex on Danny K were not the only ones with a story to tell about the night of the murder. Matthew and Savanah's apartment complex, just a few miles away, was likewise monitored by a series of security cameras. At 10:30 p.m. on the night the couple were killed, Matthew was captured making a trip out to the parking lot. He met with individuals who pulled up in a Toyota Corolla, then a Mercedes. He was then captured walking back and into his building. He wore the same tracksuit that he would later be found in. Also visible were his gold rings and chain. Even more insightful was what these cameras captured in the following days. The now familiar pickup truck. It pulled into the complex and parked, too far away to identify the driver in the dark. Yet the implication was clear. The killer had arrived to enter Matthew and Savanah's home, even while friends and family searched for them in desperation. The motion-censored cameras did not record the moment the driver exited the truck, but they did capture the return. Investigators speculated that the driver used Matthew's stolen key to enter the apartment. The likely killer was inside, rifling through the couple's belongings for roughly 40 minutes before returning to their vehicle and leaving the scene. The key piece of video footage depicting the large man in the white shirt wiping down the exterior of the silver Kia was distributed to the public in an effort to identify the truck and its owner. Despite a significant amount of footage, the license plate to the vehicle could not be deciphered. However, the man in white had what detectives referred to as a distinctive look, which they suspected someone would recognize. This was, in fact, the case. Investigators were led to the home of Ramon Preciado on Charlie Chan Drive in San Antonio. 53-year-old Ramon lived with his wife, Myrta, and his 19-year-old son, Christopher. As investigators arrived, they brought with them an understanding of the role that the father, and likely his son, had played in the aftermath of the murders, but the puzzle still had missing pieces. The two Preciados were told the reason for the visit, then separated to speak with detectives.
How do you say your last name? Preciado? Preciado? Preciado. Okay, Christopher. I was never good at that. Never. What's your middle name? Chris? You go by Chris or Christopher?
Christopher told detectives that he knew of the incident from the news. He had watched the video of his father in the white shirt played on KSAT, the local news channel. Beyond that, he claimed ignorance.
Is that your dad? Yes. Okay, like I said, you know what this is all about. Don't have any idea why we're taking the truck, why we're contacting you? What video are you referencing?
KSAT video? The
one with the pregnant girl? Or the missing? Okay.
Visible to investigators from the front lawn of the house was the home's security cameras. If they were in working order, this footage could fill in some gaps.
I mean, you can look at the live, but there's no playback recordings. There are no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do they look at? You just have to walk through the attic. No, I mean, like, fucking monitor the TV. Let's see. How do you look at it? It's like a little box. A little box? Okay. Where's that at? Inside? Yeah.
What Christopher told the detective was untrue. The home security cameras provided more than just live feeds. They recorded footage. When he sat down with investigators, Christopher was confronted with what they had seen. The cameras had recorded Matthew and Savanah arriving at the house on Charlie Chan and picking up Christopher on the night they were last seen alive.
And then what happened when he arrived at your house?
When he arrived at my house, he was kind of agitated already with me. Like, he was like, man, I told you to be out here already. Why aren't you already out here waiting for me?
The cameras showed that Christopher had in fact been waiting for them outside, pacing. Then the silver Kia left, only to return a few minutes later. During this time, Christopher described Matthew as agitated. His irritated disposition made Christopher uncomfortable. He told the detective that he had seen Matthew's Instagram, so he knew that he carried guns. He was only trying to buy a small amount of marijuana.
I got in the backseat of his car. Okay. And he was already agitated. He was like, come on, man, just get the fuck in. Just get the fuck in, bro. Come on, hurry up. Let's do this and get out of here. So I was like, what? It was weird to me because that was the first time he's ever, told me to get in his car.
Oh, okay. So that
it was abnormal because he always just like this, pass it to me through the window. And then he just walks away.
Okay.
So it was weird to me that he wanted me to get in the back already. Okay. So I didn't go about that. I want to be like, no, because I don't know what it was going to escalate to.
Yeah.
In Christopher's version of events, he gave Matthew $100 in exchange for $60 worth of marijuana. As the transaction was underway, Christopher reached for his cell phone, which was in his pants pocket, a motion that piqued Matthew's apparent paranoia. Christopher claimed the young, rich drug dealer must have been under the influence of something. That would explain his alleged agitation and aggressive reaction to Christopher reaching for his phone.
He has something right here where he has his gun. Yeah. And what he did was he was already agitated with her, and he was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden he's like, man, bro, you know what? He was like, no, bro, just get the out, bro, just get the out. I was like, what are you talking about? I was kind of confused. He was like, bro, just get the out. And I'm like, why do you want me to get out? And I was like, whatever. I'm just like, I'm gonna take the loss. I don't wanna.
Yeah. So you already given the money?
Yeah, I already given him the money. So I was about to get out, but I guess I went like this, to grab my phone because I wanted to flash because it's dark in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never been in that car before, so I didn't want to step on anything. So I was just opening the door. I was about to open the door. I go like this with my phone. I try to turn the flash on, and then as soon as he does that, he reacts. He goes like this, and he pulls his little gun on me. Okay. I didn't know what to do at that point.
What happened next was apparently challenging for Christopher to articulate.
Sorry, it's just okay. Sorry. He was about to pull it because he had that, he was already about to pull it. And as soon as he was just constant at me, just continuously bro, what the f*** are you reaching for? He just kept asking me that, and I didn't know how to. I was like, so I kind of picked my hands up quick. I was like, bro, stop, stop. I had him like this. I was like, bro, stop. Just stop, bro. I just want to go, bro. I don't want to deal with this. Mm-hmm. So after he did that, I could tell he was about to pull it on me. So it was like this pretty much in my face. Mm-hmm. So I go like that. And then he pulls it.
Pulls the trigger? Okay.
And then
are you in the back seat?
I'm in the back seat.
So he's pointing at you, so it goes off in the back seat.
Yes, well, not in the back seat. I push it because I don't want it in my face, like this. So I go like that, and I kind of push it away, and I kind of duck down because I didn't want it to hit me. Mm-hmm. And he just went like that, and he started yelling, baby. I didn't know what he was yelling because I heard my ears were all ringing.
In an effort to move Matthew's handgun away from him, Christopher claimed to have pushed the gun away with his open palm while Matthew's finger was on the trigger. A bullet was fired. Savanah, 9 months pregnant with Fabian, was struck. In the subsequent chaos, a second struggle ensued. Somehow, another push of the gun redirected a second, also fatal, shot. This one hit Matthew.
And then you push it.
I push it, yeah.
Right, and then so all of a sudden it's already on the bed.
He had already had his finger on the trigger though when it was facing me.
When it was facing you?
Yes,
Yeah.
he had it on his
And then so you
he
push
had
it.
it on the trigger. I pushed it and he, like, I guess he thought I was going to grab something, but I don't have anything to grab.
Mm-hmm. And then, so you're saying he shot her? Okay, so she's not responding. And where's she bleeding from?
It looked like she just started bleeding like right here.
On the left side of her neck?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously she's here, right?
She has a light on her side.
On her side, so it looks like she's bleeding on the left side of her neck.
It looks like she's bleeding on the left side of her neck, and he's just yelling, babe, babe.
Detectives believed there were more than a few oddities in the story Christopher offered. The first were what appeared to be blatant contradictions with the physical evidence. Had a sudden push from Christopher's hand caused the first shot to hit Savanah, she would have been injured on the side, not the back of her head. What Christopher claimed to have viewed of her wound was also inconsistent with where the staining was later found on her and inside the vehicle. Perhaps most difficult to reconcile was his recollection of how Matthew had been shot. The angle that he must have held the handgun was extremely difficult, if not impossible, to replicate.
As soon as I was about to reach for the door, he faces towards me again, so I go like that.
Okay.
I push it instead of that way, like I did the first time like that.
Mm-hmm.
He went like that.
Okay, so it came towards him. Right, so if he's pointing his left hand at you, right, so I'm sitting in the driver's seat, right, so this is the driver's seat. I'm turning this way, right? I'm looking at the girl, right? You're in the back seat behind me, right? So I'm in the driver's seat. There's a female here, right, in your back behind here. So he's pointing the weapon at you like this, right? So his hand, it's impossible to get that angle. Right, no matter what you do, if I pointed it here, you're probably going to hit over you. Sure as hell ain't hitting there. And the gun is not coming all the way this way unless, like I said, unless you grab it and you put it to his head.
I didn't even touch his gun. I just kept pushing his hand and pushing it away. Well, the only time I touched it, I guess, was when I went like that.
Okay. Where did his gun go?
I couldn't tell you. I think whenever it went like that, it kind of went like that and fell in her lap a little.
Fell in her lap? So
it fell in her, the bottom.
In the bottom seat? You didn't take it?
Touched it because, I didn't take it because I never touched it.
Okay. So you never took the gun? Was the car locked?
What do you mean?
When you left, did you leave the car locked?
No. I left it unlocked because I didn't know how else to deal with it. I just
left
it. I told my dad, meet me on this side and pick me up.
Well, you and your dad meet first, and your dad comes up to the car.
Yeah, he comes up to the car and tries to talk to me, and I'm like, just go over there real quick. He's like, did you steal this? Did you steal this? And I'm like, no, just go over there, And then that's when I go into the space, and then...
Christopher minimized the role played by his father, Ramon, insisting that he never looked into the car when he came to collect him on the night of the murders. His father had no idea what had occurred when he picked his son up at the medical apartments that night, Christopher said. The cameras told a different story. The exchange between the two men in the parking lot clearly showed the older man leaning into the vehicle, where Savanah Soto still sat in the passenger seat, the father of her child sprawled out in the back. On January 3rd, 2024, Christopher Preciado, alongside his father, were arrested and charged.
Why did you do it?
Are you sorry for what happened?
Did you know Savanah was 9 months
Did you know she was pregnant?
Always speak to you, so. Did you do it? Were you involved?
So the two individuals we just walked out today, again, is a father and son. The first individual is a father. The second individual is a son. They're going to be charged. The son's going to be charged this evening with capital murder, and the father's going to be charged with abuse of a corpse. So we do expect more charges to be pending.
Speculation surrounding the murders was running rampant online. The release of the parking lot video piqued the interest of internet detectives who dedicated hours to viewing, analyzing, and speculating about the case.
So I don't know if you guys are following the case of the missing pregnant teenager out of San Antonio, Texas, Savanah Soto, but there has been some crazy updates in the case.
All right, let me know if this is better. Here we go. You guys can see it?
Now, I don't know who these three guys are, but a lot of people are thinking that one of them is the boyfriend of that one chick who was talking all that crap about Savanah on her Instagram and then her TikTok.
There was a lot of misinformation out there. These two individuals are the only suspects that we were looking for. They were arrested. There were many names being thrown around on the internet. Those people had nothing to do with this. We vetted them and everything. They didn't have anything to do with these murders.
One central topic of interest online was the moment in the parking lot video when the towel used by Ramon to wipe down the car seems to appear on the seat in the cab of the truck, as though thrown to him from a passenger. A third person must have been present. Indeed, 7 days following the first arrests, investigators made a third. The cameras at the Preciado home revealed that shortly after Christopher left in the Kia with Matthew and Savanah, Ramon Preciado was captured heading towards his pickup. His wife, Myrta, was right behind him.
Mirta, as a mother, how did you be involved in this? Mirta, did you give anything for your gun? Do you have anything to say to these families? Did you give Christopher your gun to use in this murder?
There was a lot of information on social media that there was a third individual involved. Our homicide detectives were aware of that. However, we were looking for enough probable cause to make that arrest and to present the best case forward to the DA's office. Today, that happened. They were able to develop enough evidence to charge 47-year-old Mirta Romanos. She is believed to be, I'm not sure exactly what the relationship is, but maybe a stepmother to Christopher, 19-year-old Christopher. She is being charged with 3 felonies. At this time, we're confident that there's no more suspects. At this time, we're confident that these were the 3 individuals that were involved in this case.
Though Christopher continued to argue self-defense, his claims were growing more dubious as evidence accumulated. The murder weapon, a .380 caliber handgun, which he claimed was Matthew's, was found in his house inside of a locked closet in his parents' room. Officers gained access only after threatening to pull the door from its hinges, at which time Myrta miraculously produced the ostensibly missing key.
How cooperative was she? I know there was a search warrant that was issued a few days ago. There was a search warrant, so they had the authority to go into that home. Today, I don't believe she said much.
They matched her weapon to the ballistics?
Right. That tampering with evidence, from what we understand, she stated that was her gun. So we do know that that was her weapon.
The gun was found loaded with 2 bullets and was stored with a full magazine containing another 5. Exactly 3 bullets were missing, accounting for the 2 fatal shots and the one located near the casing in the silver Kia. The gun was registered to an ex-girlfriend of Ramon Preciado. She told investigators that after they parted ways, her gun had gone missing. Christopher was held in custody in a Bexar County jail on a $1 million bond. His legal team filed multiple motions to have this amount significantly reduced. All attempts were denied. As the state prepared for trial, they further bolstered the case against Christopher. His motive was as anticipated. The state believed that he wanted Matthew's money and was willing to kill him, Savanah, and Fabian to get it. The day after, a neighbor on Charlie Chan Drive found $160 in cash outside on the driveway of the Preciado house while walking their dog. The crumpled bills were stained in blood. Christopher's messaging history and social media posts were also damning. In the days prior to the murders, his correspondence with an associate named Anthony showed him desperate to arrange the purchase of car parts with funds that he clearly did not have. At one point, he offered 2 rings as collateral. One he described as engraved with a 10K, and the other with a large ruby. 2 rings matching these descriptions were sold to a local pawn shop by his associate for $300 in the days after the murders. When they were retrieved, investigators confirmed they were Matthew Guerra's. As Christopher's trial date approached, both parents were released from custody. First Ramon, who after 13 and a half months was able to gain release on a reduced $450,000 bond.
2 murdered people and an unborn child. Anything you want to say about yourself? This is your chance to say your side. Last chance.
To the shock and confusion of the Guerra and Soto families, Myrta Romanos was also eventually released as well when the charges against her were dismissed. After nearly 2 years, the prosecutor's office sought continuance after continuance, seeking additional time for further investigation. The evidence of her involvement was lacking. Myrta was released in November 2025 after 22 months.
How have the last 2 years been? How does it feel to be released from jail? How does it feel the last 2 years? Do you believe Christopher and Ramon are innocent? Do you have anything to say to the victims?
Christopher Preciado stood trial for 3 counts of capital murder in March 2026. The state decided not to pursue the death penalty if convicted.
There are no eyewitnesses to this offense. Nobody's going to testify that said they saw Christopher Preciado pull a trigger with any sort of intent or deliberation. There's no video evidence of this crime that took place. You're not going to receive any blood spatter evidence that implicates him in this capital murder. There's no DNA evidence that's going to implicate him of capital murder. Lead evidence will show you're not going to find any evidence of fingerprints of any kind that would implicate him in this capital murder. A drug transaction gone wrong where a gun is pulled on him by the drug dealer. A struggle and then chaos when shots are fired after that.
The defense team at trial stuck to the story Christopher had presented to detectives upon his arrest. He had not brought a gun with him to the drug deal. The shots had been fired in the midst of a struggle. The deaths were a tragedy, though the result of self-defense. While the state described the murders as an execution based on the nature of the injuries, the medical examiner could not testify with 100% certainty what order the shots were fired, nor whether they were intentional or accidental. Indeed, there was gunpowder residue found on both Matthew and Savanah. Results were inconclusive regarding whether either had held or fired a gun, however. Much of the evidence focusing on the cleanup after the crime could be attributed to panic and fear. These actions were taken at the direction of Ramon, not Christopher, argued the defense. Finally, the defense argued that Matthew Guerra's illegal activities, his criminal history, and the risk associated with his lifestyle should make jurors question whether his actions in the car that night led to his death, and that of his young family. His attorneys painted Matthew as an aggressor and their client as a docile loser.
Christopher is this 19-year-old stoner gamer who's sitting there. When they picked up his possessions from his room, he has a sweatshirt that says, "Virginity Rocks." It's in the pictures. Can't find it right now, but they showed it to you all. This is the kind of guy that they're saying is a stone-cold executioner, to use Miss Albin's word when she started this case, that these people were executed. They're saying that guy is an executioner. She showed you pictures at the very beginning of Matthew holding a gun. When you look through those Instagrams, which there's a lot of stuff to look through, there's a picture of Matthew holding a gun. Matthew holding a long arm, Matthew holding an extended clip. When I was a young prosecutor, I put that kind of guy in jail. And now here, we're calling him a great guy, a family man. He was going to have a baby the next day. They showed you video of Matthew walking in his apartment complex, looking all cool with his track little uniform on or whatever he was wearing. And he's happy as a clam because he just made 2 drug deals on video right in front of God and everyone. He's just walking around like, hey, more money. I've got to pay taxes on this money. IRS don't even know that I'm making cash.
Subject to facts on evidence, Your Honor.
You can infer from looking at that video what he's doing. The Mercedes-Benz, that I'm sure did not live at that apartment complex, and a Toyota, and he's walking out there and then he's walking back in to go pick up his pregnant girlfriend and take her to another drug deal. That's what he's doing. But they want to portray him as this really great family man, this guy who's going to have a baby the next day. Parenting gone wrong? She's mom. Savannah's a mom. Like, she's going to have a baby the next day? They're supposed to be going in a matter of hours, and she makes a decision to go to a drug deal? Does she not watch TV?
And we did not shy away from the fact that Matthew dealt drugs to make money. We were not hiding from that. We didn't stand up here and try to paint them as these angelic people who never made mistakes. I think I actually said, you're going to hear they made mistakes. Those were my words. And those you have heard. But that doesn't mean that they deserve what happened to them. That does not justify the execution that this man perpetrated on them. It doesn't. You can see Christopher is not this virginity rocks innocent guy that they want you to think he is. He is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Violence, extreme. Dr. Molina testified, Savannah's wound wasn't necessarily fatal. If somebody would have done something about it, that baby might have been able to be saved. This was extreme. This was violence. This was senseless. It was unnecessary, and it was unjustified. It was selfish. It was monetarily based. There was no good reason for it.
The jury deliberated for just under 2 hours before returning with a unanimous verdict. Christopher Preciado was found guilty on all 3 counts of capital murder for the deaths of Savanah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn child, Fabian. These convictions resulted in an automatic sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole.
He took my granddaughter, my great-grandson. You will never see him again, but I'm glad that they found him guilty.
And her mother right here. And her father. They cannot talk, but I will. I will talk for my cousin and her boyfriend. You took their unborn son. He didn't even have a chance to live.
Ramon Preciado is scheduled to stand trial on May 11th, 2026, on charges of tampering with evidence and abuse of a corpse. The Soto family have also received justice for the murder of Savannah's younger brother, Ethan. His killer, Victor Rivas, eventually pleaded guilty to the murder and was given a 40-year sentence.
What's your message to the Bexar County District Attorney's Office about keeping momentum on this case?
I think that they know what's best to do. I think they were just as involved as Christopher was, and I think justice should be served when it comes to them too as well, the mom and the dad.
And that was the tragic case of Savanah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn son, Fabian. Thank you for joining me. I'd like to offer a welcome this week to our newest Sherlock Holmes members, Tom Roberts, Justina Fowler, Emily Ann Colin, and Jordan Lockwood. It's great to have you in the lounge. I'm Kevin. This is Just Thought Lounge, and I'll see you in the next one.
Always been effective. Can say he got a knack.
Pick of the litter, you see how Newton got his back. Yeah, the content that you need, this could be a new sign. We talking in the comments, they jotting a few lines. Tune in and hit like, love that, it's too kind. Feels like the whole world is online for true crime. Watch them on a run, but it's not a race. Really hard to disappear, poof without a trace. Sherlock Holmes with it, I put you in your place. Got my smoking pipe, only right I crack.